All right, welcome back to Soccer Matters on ESPN 97.5. A quick shout out here to Hugh O'Connor's Pub. It's out at I-10 in the Marquee Entertainment Center. They got daily specials out there. Whiskey and beer offerings are off the charts. Great traditional English pub food. It's Hugh O'Connor's Pub. And a big shout out to our friends at Danish Inspirations Modern Contemporary Furniture, Jan and Yannick Christensen. My house is full of their beautiful furniture. If you're in the market for modern contemporary furniture, that's where you go. Our next guest, Houston Dynamo. Excellent 90 minutes in the Dynamo's 1-0 shutout, clean sheet over the high-flying Portland Timbers. He's Ethan Bartlow. Ethan, thanks for coming on tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, listen, nothing more satisfying as a defender than getting a clean sheet, first one of the year, and you do it against a team that had 8 goals in 3 games. Maybe take us into that a little bit.
Yeah, I think like they've been playing well. They got a lot of good attackers, and they really like to get out in transition. So we knew it was going to be a tough game. But I think the shutout's a credit to everyone. And as a defender, really happy to get it.
So, when you're looking at them on paper, and I watched their prior games, and you're right, high flying. I mean, they got four very athletic, technical guys. A little bit scary, right? And they're in a hot streak. They're scoring goals. What's some of the major talking points and focus for a defender in that game? Is it starting positions? Is it what you do without the ball? Is the mental side of it, where you need to be? Just take our listeners into that.
Yeah, I think the big thing for us that we're kind of always working on, and I think got better throughout the game, is we call it active defending. And it's just kind of being in good positions to defend when we have the ball, if and when it turns over. Because we know once they get the ball, they're going to be looking for the outlet pass and trying to run fast at us any chance they get. So being in good positions to shut that down is really key against them.
So take me into this. The Houston Dynamo win the ball. You play it into midfield. It's now out wide. The team's on the attack. You're jogging up the field to condense the game. What's going on in the mind of Ethan Bartlow, a center back at that point?
I think at times it's definitely hard not to kind of watch the ball and kind of want to be an option attacking wise. But you really got to turn on and know where their attacking guys are because they can really hurt you. Um, Definitely need to do that in every game, but I think specifically against them, it was a really big key for us.
Ethan Bartlow joining us, Dynamo defender. Last year, 27 appearances out of the University of Washington. Excellent defender, re-signed a new contract as well. How about talking about the chemistry with Mikael in that game? Because both of you guys played exceptional.
Well, thank you. Mika and I like we just kind of try to complement each other's game and be in position to help each other. Obviously, he's very good as like a recovering defender, and so he helps me out a lot, and I try to do my best to help him out as well.
So the beginning of that match, they come out flying, and Santiago Moreno gets behind you guys, right? And as we all know, the first goal in games now can go a long way. Um, did you kind of get? Did the team kind of get caught by them a little bit in the beginning, cold? How fast they started that game, the Portland Timbers?
Yeah, I think that play we should have locked that throw in better, but we didn't, and they got behind us. And credit to Steve, it was an amazing save that he ended up making. Um, but I think it was kind of a wake up call for us, and that really got us going. And probably fortunate to not be down 1-0, but we take that, and in the long run, it probably helped us get going into that game.
All right, you got intense competition. Eric Sviatchenko, Mikael, teenager Davy was there until he was moved on to the Turkish Super League. Yourself, this has got to be pretty intense competition on a daily basis, right?
Yeah, for sure. We know we got a lot of good guys in the center back room and throughout the team. Dan's obviously a really good player as well. So I think obviously there's like a competition for playing time, but I think it's kind of a iron sharpens iron type of thing where we're kind of pushing each other to be better every day, all throughout that position room.
I was affected in my playing career very much by a guy that played in Europe. He helped my game a lot. Have you picked up any maybe subtle ticks from Eric Sviatchenko?
Yeah, I think one really subtle one that I've kind of picked up and tried to kind of add to my game is just like kind of the tactical foul. I think he's really good at that, and I think like keeping guys from being able to turn is something he's really good at. And doing it in a way where he's not going to get a yellow card. I think like I've kind of tried to pick that up and add that to my game. But it's impressive the way he does it.
Talking to Ethan Bartlow, who's been exceptional for the Dynamo, played 27 times last year, was the starter last year. So I want to ask you a very serious question here and see how you answer it. You know, you're the starter in this team. You're playing well. You feel like you're playing well. You're not conceding that many goals. And in comes a European defender in Eric Sviatchenko. And now you're in a fight for your place where you think you've earned it. Is this just professional sports and competition?
Yeah, I think it is. I think obviously the management's always trying to bring in the best players they can, and credit to them. Eric's a good player. And for me, I think it's like I kind of saw it as a little bit of a challenge for me. Um, and then towards the end of the season, not playing as much, I felt like I came into this season with something to prove, um, and hopefully get back into that starting position. Obviously, I know Eric's going to do a good job when he's in, but I feel like I can also do a good job when I'm in. So being able to get that starting position back is something I really want to work towards.
Yeah, and again, that's a daily basis, right? In training, I mean, is that every single training session? I think for younger players to hear from you, right, is a chance for you to do something in front of your manager and a staff, right?
For sure, I think it's tough when you're not starting to kind of not necessarily put your best in every day, but put your best in every day, knowing that like who knows if that training session is really going to matter in terms of whether that's going to change the way the team's picked. Obviously, games are what's most important, and if the team's playing well in games, it's hard to get back into the team sometimes. Um, but really, all you can do is work hard every day and try to get better, and try to make the team better because that's what's most important.
Ethan Bartlow again joining us from the University of Washington, and I would guess that you've had your share of ups and downs at every level of soccer, right? I love when people like you, who people generally see running out in a stadium full of people and thinking, "Wow, isn't that amazing?" But they don't sometimes know the background and the ups and downs, the disappointments. You had injury, all kinds of different things. So that probably makes it even more satisfying when you get a 90 minutes like the other night and produce what you did against a very good team.
Yeah, for sure. I think like specifically at the professional level, obviously my first year was pretty rough. Injured a lot. Didn't really end up getting a shot that year. And then kind of was building towards it. And then last year I ended up getting that starting spot, as you said. Only kind of to be brought back down a peg. And so I think just kind of dealing with adversity a little bit has really made me better, and it's kind of built me up.
You seem to have a very nice level of composure, which I think not all defenders have, and I think that's a weapon. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think on the ball is really my strength as a defender. Um, but kind of with that comes I need I need to keep working on the defensive end. Um, this league is getting better and better attackers, obviously every year. So working on that defensive end is big, and I think like in the box defending specifically is where your money's really made as a center back.
And you got a lot of importance placed on the buildup as well, right? I mean, the center backs are holding the ball a lot and waiting for the right moment to play through people and dealing with pressure. I mean, this is a multifaceted job. The days of just breaking plays up and giving it to an attacking player, I think, are over, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think especially the way we play right now, wanting to keep a lot of the ball, kind of trying to maintain possession and build slowly. I think a lot of pressure is put on us, and also with Hector out, I think it puts even more pressure on us just because we kind of can't give it to him and know that he's going to progress and make the best pass. We gotta kind of be the ones to break lines at times as well.
Ethan, the goal scoring has been an issue when it comes to getting multi-goal games and all. Did you guys get the sense last year sometimes that you feel like you're under a lot of pressure because you don't get the relief maybe of a multi-goal game often enough?
Yes and no. I think obviously multi-goal games would be great, but to us it doesn't really matter. I think we're kind of, especially the back line, Steve, whoever. I think we're more focused on that shutout. So if we can win a game 1-0, 3-0, it doesn't really make a difference to us. We're trying to keep that shutout regardless.
All right, let's look ahead to Colorado. We're talking to Houston Dynamo defender Ethan Bartlow. This is a great interview here. Grew up Pacific Northwest, went to the University of Washington. All right, so I'm looking at this new striker for Colorado, Rafael Navarro. Now, how much will you guys do a deep dive on him? How much information do you get? How many, do you go home at night and watch the Colorado Rapids to watch his movements and tendencies? How's that work?
Yeah, in video earlier in the week, we're still talking. We're reviewing Portland right now. But later on in the week, probably tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, we'll get into Colorado a little bit, and we'll get to know their tendencies, and specifically for like us center backs, we'll get into the nine as well, and we'll know where he came from, whatever, and know how he likes to play and what he likes to do, and try to really get in and disrupt that.
So later in the week is when you really begin to start focusing on the Colorado Rapids. I think that's interesting information for everybody that's out there. So right now you're still kind of processing the Portland game with your staff.
Yeah, definitely. I think that game specifically, obviously, there's a lot of good. We ended up shutout win, but there was definitely a lot we could have done better. You mentioned that first chance right at the start. We can do a lot better on locking that throw in, and there's obviously more stuff we could have done a lot better that night, and maybe we get a few more goals, whatever. We're a little cleaner on the defensive end as well, and so I think reviewing that is a big part of kind of us specifically what we want to do in our game. It can't always be like change our game up for whoever we're playing against.
Do you get the sense that most of the coaches, no matter what their game model is or their tactics and where their line of restraint is, do you get the sense that most teams come out pushing at the beginning of matches just to try to catch an opponent cold and maybe make sure that they're mentally and physically engaged?
Yeah, I think you almost have to. I think if you can get that early goal, that just means so much. And obviously we're fortunate to not be down 1-0. Because if we had been, it would have been a completely different game. They probably would have sat off a little more even, and really made it difficult for us.
Do you find it fun playing up against all these players from different countries that have different tendencies and are coming from differing leagues from around the world? I mean, at the end of the day, you're matched up with some of the best attacking players on every team, every game. I mean, that must be pretty fun.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. Some are more fun than others. I don't know that playing against Spree is a lot of fun. He's a big, strong, fast guy, so he's tough to
Yeah.
deal with. But no, I think it is a lot of fun. Just I almost embrace that pressure of trying to get out of there with a clean sheet. Um, and yeah, it's really fun when we do get them.
Any other guys that aren't fun like Aspria?
I mean, Cucho wasn't a lot of fun either.
Yeah.
He's really good, obviously, but also Christian on the same team, Christian Ramirez. He's similar to Aspria, where he's that big body that's going to hold you off, and that can be tough to deal with.
Well, listen, Ethan, thank you so much. Best of luck against Colorado. You're a well-spoken guy. You're playing great soccer. Congratulations on the shutout against Portland. Thanks for visiting with me and our listeners, and we do appreciate it. We look forward to doing it again, and keep up the great work. I saw your face after you had your goal called back. I was so
I
hoping that was going to count for you.
I
Uh,
was heartbroken, but thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
yeah,
Looking forward to being back on soon.
yeah, let's do it. And that goal will come. You know that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, that's Ethan Bartlow. Thank you so much, Ethan. And the
Thanks,
Dynamo will
Glenn.
take on the Colorado Rapids this weekend. By the way, they have Jordy Mihailovic, Omar Fernandez, who was with the Red Bulls, Darren Yappy. They had a number of differing players that have made this roster a little bit different. That game will be at altitude in Colorado. That's going to do it tonight for Soccer Matters on ESPN 97.5. Get the podcast at Spotify, Apple, and Google. You can also get it at ESPN975.com. Don't forget, head over to our YouTube Soccer Matters page. Subscribe. A lot of new information coming out over there. And our thanks to Jack for setting this interview up tonight with Ethan Bartlow. We end on a really, really good note. That'll do it. Until next Monday night, remember, Soccer Matters.